It's The Line of Fire with your host, Dr. Michael Brown, your voice of moral, cultural, and spiritual revolution. Here again is Dr. Michael Brown.
I also want to say that I think that the effort to take the HRC international is profoundly important. There are people who lost their battles to hold you back in the United States who think they can take the show on the road and win somewhere else.
That was the voice of former President Bill Clinton speaking at a recent fundraising dinner for the Human Rights Campaign, the HRC. And when he was speaking about those who allegedly failed to stop gay activism here in America, now taking their show on the road to other countries, actually, he was referring to people like me, according to the HRC, that is, that have put me on their list of, quote, exporting hate around the world. You know, here are the facts, Mr. Clinton. Here are the facts to everyone else that wants to know the truth. First, as far as gay activism here in America, we want what's right for everyone. We want what's right for the family. We want what's right and best for America. And when you see public opinion shift so dramatically and radically as it has in recent years, and people are so terribly misinformed about facts, you realize a lot of it is media influence. A lot of it is due to misinformation. Look, the Centers of Disease Control here in America and the Office of National Statistics in the UK both did major surveys and found that 1.6% of the population in America and in the UK identify as gay or lesbian. 1.6%. That's less than 1 in 60. And yet when George Gallup did a poll on this a few years back, he found that Americans thought that 25% of the population was gay, 1 in 4, and young people thought it was closer to 1 in 3. In other words, there's a tremendous amount of misinformation circulating. All I want is for people to know the truth. Is that wrong? I want people to know the truth about what's taught in our children's schools. I want people to know the truth about health risks and things like that, especially for men who have sex with men. Is that wrong? Is that hate for people to know the truth? Is it wrong? Is it hate to talk about bathroom bills now, where a man who identifies as a woman has the right to go into a woman's bathroom and there's nothing that the business establishment or the women can do about it? Is that right? Is that fair? Is it right and fair to oppose conservative Christians who say, listen, in good conscience, I can't bake a cake for your same-sex wedding, and that person's not going to be fined and potentially put out of business? Is that right? Is it right that those who were once bullied have become the bullies? And when we go to other countries, far from demonizing people, I do the exact opposite. I speak graciously and kindly, and I make clear that I am not out to demonize anyone. And I make clear on top of that that some of the nicest people you know, family members, friends, co-workers, may be gay and lesbian. That's not the issue. The only question is, can we give you lessons we have learned from America? And as far as stopping things in America, we're in the midst of a multi-generational issue. The pro-life, pro-family movement standing together for what's best in America, we're still in our early stages. Joey, let's go to clip number 14. Again, this is President Clinton, former President Clinton, speaking at the Human Rights Campaign fundraising dinner.
I love Uganda. I've done a lot of work there. I did when I was president. I have since. And it just breaks my heart that they put all that at risk to pursue what is essentially a political agenda, to isolate and demonize gay people for short-term political gain. You need to be out there around the world. This is an interdependent world. And the good news is that power is more dispersed than ever before, thanks to the social media and all that. But it also permits movements to travel across national borders that are violent, that are emotionally and legally toxic.
So let me get this straight. First, short-term political gain. The people that HRC recently went out after, and to me, looking at their list, You don't have political people in there. You have Christians, you have people in ministry, you have many with tiny, tiny budgets. In fact, you take all the organizations combined in terms of money that's spent having to do with gay activist issues, put all the ministries, all the organizations together, and it'd be less than the HRC's budget with all the different ones they go after in terms of our designated funds that would go towards issues having to do with LGBT things. But it's wrong for us as followers of Jesus who love the Lord and who care about other people. It's wrong for us to go to other nations when they contact us and say, tell us your experiences, share your experiences in America dealing with gay activism. What can we learn? What can we understand? And we go to other countries to share these things graciously and lovingly. That's wrong. That's wrong. But it's good for the HRC to use its power to intimidate and pressure and spread lies and misinformation about good people. That's right. So it's wrong for us to share truth internationally, but it's right for the HRC to spread lies, misinformation, and try to intimidate and bully internationally. And you take a country like Uganda. Christian leaders in America spoke against the death penalty and other harsh penalties that were being imposed for homosexual practice, while standing with Uganda to say, yeah, gay activist curriculum should be kept out of schools. I think we should all protect kids as best as we can. And we said to Uganda, hey, don't be kowtowed by monetary pressure from America. Do what you feel is right, but do it in a compassionate way. So we expressed our differences, and then we expressed solidarity where we could agree. That's wrong, but it's right to put pressure and to say, unless you conform to our views of sexuality, as far as it goes, unless you conform to our views of sexuality, then we're going to put every kind of pressure on you and intimidate and bully. Mr. Clinton, you're standing with the wrong people here. One more clip number 15, Bill Clinton speaking at HRC.
I believe that in ways large and small, peaceful and sometimes violent, that the biggest threat to the future of our children and grandchildren is the poison of identity politics that preaches that our differences are far more important than our common humanity.
Oh, Mr. Clinton, did you say those words and really think about what you were saying? The toxic poison that is conveyed in your words that instills hatred to conservative Christians and conservative Jews and conservative Muslims as well? Do you realize the poison of your words that divides and that tells hundreds of millions of committed followers of Jesus around the world, peace-loving, non-violent people, that tells them that they do not have the right to believe what they've always believed, that they do not have the right to say that God did not design a man to be with another man, and that it's best for a kid to be joined with a loving father and a loving mother? Do you realize how toxic and poisonous your words are, and you're practicing the very identity politics that you deplore? One more question, sir. When you in the past and your wife, Mrs. Clinton, in the past opposed redefining marriage and stood for marriage, what changed? Was it political expediency? Was it the shifting tides of culture? Did you ever have real convictions on this? Can we really believe you now? We'll be right back.